Hello, and welcome to Today in History for January the 11th. I'm Michael Powell. Today's episode makes official what people and doctors had thought about for an awful long time, and that is that the U.S. Surgeon General announced a definitive link between smoking and cancer. United States Surgeon General Luther Terry knew his report was a bombshell. He intentionally chose to release it on January 11th, 1964, a Saturday, so as to limit its immediate effects on the stock market. It was on this date, on behalf of the U.S. government, Terry announced a definitive link between smoking and cancer. The link had long been suspected. Anecdotal evidence had always pointed to negative health effects from smoking, and by the 1930s, physicians were noticing an increase in lung cancer cases. The first medical studies that raised serious concerns were published in Great Britain in the late 1940s. American cigarette companies spent much of the next decade lobbying the government to keep smoking legal and advertising reduced levels of tar and nicotine in their products. 44% of Americans already believed smoking caused cancer by 1958, and a number of medical associations warned that tobacco use was linked with both lung and heart disease. Despite all of this, nearly half the Americans smoked, and smoking was common in restaurants, bars, offices, and homes across the country. Dr. Terry commissioned a report in 1962, and 2 years later he released the findings titled Smoking and Health, which stated a conclusive link between smoking and heart and lung cancer in men. The report also stated that the same link was likely true for women, although women smoked at lower rates and therefore not enough data was available. The news was major, but hardly surprising. The New York Times reported the findings, saying it could hardly have been otherwise. Still, the Surgeon General's report was a major step in health officials' crusade against smoking. Though tobacco companies spent millions and millions and were largely successful in fending off anti-smoking laws until the 1990s, studies have shown that the report increased the percentage of Americans who believed in the cancer link to 70%, and that smoking decreased roughly 11% between 1965 and 1985. California became the first state to ban smoking in enclosed public spaces in 1995. 25 more states have now passed similar laws, including 50 of the 60 largest cities in America. In 2019, the Surgeon General announced a link between serious disease and e-cigarettes, an alternative to smoking in which traditional tobacco companies have invested heavily. We all knew it for an awful long time and didn't choose to believe it until the Surgeon General made it official. For Today in History, January 11th, I'm Michael Powell. Stop in again tomorrow, won't you? And see what's coming up for that day. Till then, let YouTube choose what you watch next.